Hey everyone, and welcome to an actually pretty serious video. I know the thumbnail, you might see it, you might be like, oh, this is like parody or satire. Um, but this is actually pretty serious. So just to give some background, the 199 podcast was started 3 weeks ago because in Orlando, myself and a bunch of other people at the G&G meetup got together and we became good friends. We hung out, pretty much didn't sleep for like 4 days straight, had a lot of fun together, made a group chat, and when we all got back home, I sent a chat in our group chat saying, "Hey, I want to start a podcast. Do you guys want to get in it?" And that's how this started. Okay, we used 199 because that's what like got us all together. But there's been something came up today on Geeks and Gamers Daily, which first I want to say we are disassociated from Geeks and Gamers. We are not a part of them, and I'm going to get into that in depth. I would just like to show some context first before I get into what I have to say. And I have a lot to say, a lot of facts, and a lot of context, and context after this video to go into. So please stick around and watch the whole thing to get the full story, okay? So earlier today, one of my co-hosts, Sean, sent a super chat on G&G Daily. Here we go.
I've never really had I always keep just like a little bit of a stubble there, but we'll see what happens. Tomorrow I could have this shaved. I don't give a shit.
Naggard Null, member for 22 months. I made a bunch of good friends at the meetup. You guys inspired us to start the 199 podcast. We're going to have Project Egg Roll on this Friday.
Oh yeah. Guys, we gotta I do have that you gotta make that a fan thing though. That sounds like it's ours. So if you're gonna do stuff like the whole Reddit thing, you've got to separate to make it not look like it's officially G&G, because that's what it looks like. So it needs to be retitled something to make it not look official, because that whole Reddit thing.
So he goes in and talks more about the Reddit thing because that's very recent. But I would just like to clarify a few things. Obviously, Jeremy doesn't know about everything. He hasn't like seen the podcast. I'm sure he hasn't seen like our profile image. And we have my friend Ryan has reached out to him since. We've talked about it, and everything's like chill between us. We've explained everything. But I would like to give some context because from the surface, if you just see our channel, the 199 podcast, and you've been a fan of G&G, you might assume some things. So we are not a fan channel. We are not a fan of G&G. We're not associating with G&G. We're not trying to drift off G&G. We are our own independent thing. And yes, 199 was taking inspiration from G&G. 199 obviously is not a trademarked thing. It's 199 is its own thing. And to give some context, because I know on this channel we joke a lot. That's mainly what this is, like jokes, and stuff. But in a serious note, obviously lots of people get comments. I look young. Yes, I am young. I'm 18. And moment I turned 18 last November, I was able to move out, live on my own, be self-sufficient, and that's because I am an author. I have been published since I was 15. And while I keep that very separate from YouTube because those two things do not come together. So while on YouTube, I am a very new person, new at this. Like this channel is new. We're all very new at this, the coast and stuff, my friends. So while we are very new on YouTube, I am a quote unquote minor public figure in the author sphere. I have had years of experience with companies, trademarks, discussions back and forth, which I know, again, I get it. I'm young. You might be like, what does this kid know? Nothing. You would be surprised. Okay. You would be surprised. I've been through a ton of experiences in the last 3 years since becoming an author. And I've had enough success to be able to be financially independent and move out at 18. So while on YouTube, I am, the channel 100 subs, minor, nothing at all, a bleep, and nothing, a dot compared to G&G. And while you might assume that we almost have the logo to gift off them or whatever, that is not the case. In the author sphere, it is very different from YouTube, and I do want to keep those things separate. Obviously, I always promote my books on YouTube. I do not promote the channel to I have Facebook, I have fan groups, I have fan discords, I have communities obviously for my books, which I want to keep very separate from the YouTube channel. I'm just mentioning this to clarify that I am not. You might look at me and say, "Oh, this kid's new and stuff." I'm just like young and doesn't know anything. I'm just saying this stuff to clarify that I do have experience with things and I am a quote unquote public figure. You look up my name on Safari or Chrome or whatever, and you can learn a bit more about me. And about my biography and all that stuff. And I've been in newspapers, all articles written about me. I am a successful enough author. I'm not saying I'm prominent or anything. I'm saying I'm successful enough to be financially independent at 18 for my books. And I think that says all that it needs to. I'm not some guy who just said, "Oh, I don't have." I'm saying this to clarify that I have experience. Okay, YouTube isn't the only thing that I do independent wise. Because I get you could look at this in the service, you might just see with the 199 podcast, go on, look at this kid who looks like what he's 12, doesn't know what he's doing. You might assume he's just trying to drift off G&G. That's not what's going on. I as I've said, quote unquote public figure. And as a public figure, I'm not part of G&G. I'm not associated with G&G. Now, as a private figure, as not as Kalen Wilkinson, the author, just as Kalen Wilkinson, whatever he is, yeah, I have watched G&G, for years. I've, been a viewer, but you have to keep that, separate public figure versus independent person. So while I do watch G&G as an independent person, I am not linked or connected to them in any way as a public figure. Okay. And no, I'm not pulling a Zack Snyder. Okay. G&G, what they do is great. I would just like to clarify the 199 podcast. It's not a fan podcast for G&G. It's not a subgenre of G&G. It's our own thing. Okay. What we do is us. Our inspiration is us. Thumbnail of the channel has been Starscream's face. It's always going to be Starscream's face. Okay. He's my favorite Transformer. It's never going to be 199 or anything. No. Okay. So please, any comments, any questions you have, please let me know in the comments. Again, I know this is separate from our usual stuff. I know this channel, we try to have like jokes and stuff. But this is a pretty serious thing, and I would just like to clarify, everything in case there's any misconceptions or issues. And again, we have talked to Jeremy behind the scenes, and he's talked to his lawyers and stuff, and we're all good. We're chill. There's no drama or anything between us. But I just like to clarify everything for you guys. And please, any questions you have, comment down below, and I'll try and answer them as best I can. Thanks, guys. Have a nice day.